You step into a room and forget why you're there. It's not just frustrating, it feels like a quiet alarm. As a brain specialist, I want you to know this isn't just old age, it's a signal. But what if I told you there's a way to rebuild the very part of your brain responsible for these memory slips, naturally, from home, starting today? You're about to discover a daily practice that not only preserves memory, it may reverse years of decline. So, stay with me, because the fix is simpler than you think. Most seniors don't realize the doorway effect, forgetting why you entered a room, is tied to physical changes in the brain, especially in the hippocampus, your memory's index drawer. And yes, it shrinks with age, but science now shows we can physically regrow parts of this memory center without medications. Today I'll guide you through the top healing behaviors and nutrients to rebuild memory naturally. This isn't about chasing perfection, it's about restoring clarity, one small habit at a time. 1. The hidden culprit behind your room amnesia. You walk into the kitchen and forget why. You stand there, scanning the counters. Nothing comes, just that quiet pause. It's not a flaw. It's not just aging. It's something called the doorway effect, and it reveals a deeper truth. Researchers at the University of Notre Dame discovered that walking through a doorway can interrupt memory. Your brain sees each room as a new file. Every threshold resets the context. And the center of this memory filing system, a part of your brain called the hippocampus, your memory's index drawer. This drawer helps you remember what, where, and why. But after 60, it begins to stick, and not just metaphorically, it shrinks. Tiny changes, 1 year at a time, until one day you forget why you walked in. But here's the quiet miracle. The hippocampus can regrow. It's one of the only brain areas that still makes new neurons, even in later life. In a study from the University of Pittsburgh, seniors who walked 150 minutes a week grew their hippocampus by 2% in a year. That reversed up to 2 years of memory decline, just from walking. So, if you felt foggy lately, if your brain's drawer won't slide open like it used to, don't blame yourself. Just know the shelves can be dusted, the path remembered, and the first step is exactly that, a step. 2. How daily walking rebuilds your brain's memory center. There's something quietly powerful about walking, the rhythm, the breath, the return. But did you know it actually rebuilds your memory center? At the heart of this is your hippocampus, the brain's map maker. It tracks your location, your steps, your reasons for moving. As we age, it shrinks, but it's also one of the few areas that can regrow. And walking is the spark. In a 2011 study from the University of Pittsburgh, seniors who walked 150 minutes a week, just 20 minutes a day, grew their hippocampus by 2% in a year. That reversed 1 to 2 years of memory decline. Why? Walking raises BDNF, a protein that helps neurons form, connect, and thrive. BDNF is like a gardener, and every step you take waters the soil. Skip a few days, the roots tighten, but return to the path, and something softens, remembers. Rosa, 71, began walking in silence, 10 minutes each morning. Weeks passed. One day she smiled and said, "I remembered the name of my neighbor's dog, first time in 2 years." That's what healing feels like. Small, ordinary things. Coming back. If you're ready to start, begin with 10 minutes after breakfast. Add 5 minutes each week. Track your memory wins. A name, a reason, a path. Have you noticed a clearer mind after a walk? Share it below. We'd love to hear. 3. Omega. 3. The brain's wiring, fluid. Your brain isn't made of thoughts. It's made of fat. And the most essential kind? Omega-3 fatty acids, specifically DHA and EPA. These aren't just nutrients, they're building blocks, what your brain cells use to stay soft, flexible, and connected. Neurons are like tiny message boats, and their outer membranes, the part that sends and receives signals, are made of fatty acids. Without enough DHA, those membranes stiffen, signals slow. You start to forget where you place things, or why you walked into the room. In a 2015 study from Harvard Health Publishing, seniors aged 50 to 75 who supplemented with 2,200 milligrams per day of omega-3s showed significant improvement in object location memory, the ability to remember where something was placed. That's the kind of memory that fades early: keys, glasses, appointments, why you went upstairs. But this isn't about sharpening your mind. It's about restoring what was once there. Because when the brain is given the right materials, it remembers how to rebuild. Here's how to start. DHA dosage, 900 to 2,200 milligrams per day EPA dosage, at least 650 milligrams per day. Best timing, with a fatty meal, like breakfast with avocado or eggs. Sources: salmon, sardines, mackerel, or algae oil, plant-based. Most people begin noticing changes in 2 to 3 weeks if they were deficient. For structural memory benefits, stay consistent for 12 to 26 weeks. Rosa added omega-3s at week 3 of her walking habit. She wasn't expecting much, but by week 5, she told me, I didn't feel like a different person. I just stopped losing things. That's what healing feels like. Not a dramatic shift, just a quieter brain. A little more order, a little less noise. So, if you're retracing steps, rechecking drawers, maybe it's not your memory that's fading. Maybe your brain just needs the right oil to keep the signal flowing. 4. Why high homocysteine? Shrinks your brain, and how B vitamins reverse it. Some memory loss feels quiet, but some is loud. Names disappear, words stall mid-sentence. And the scariest part? It's not always from aging. Sometimes, it's from inflammation inside your brain. One of the most overlooked culprits? A compound called homocysteine. Homocysteine is a byproduct your body makes when it breaks down protein. In healthy levels, it's harmless. But when it builds up, and it often does in people over 60, it becomes neurotoxic. It inflames brain tissue, damages blood vessels, and speeds up brain shrinkage, especially in the hippocampus and cerebral cortex. In fact, a 2013 study from the University of Oxford, the Optima Project, found that seniors with elevated homocysteine levels experienced accelerated brain atrophy. But here's the breakthrough. Those who supplemented with B6, B12, and folate saw a 30% reduction in brain shrinkage over 2 years. That's not a mild effect. That's structural preservation. Here's how it works. B12 helps convert homocysteine into methionine, a safe compound. B6 and folate assist the detox process. Without these vitamins, homocysteine builds, and memory suffers. Think of homocysteine like acid on wiring. The longer it sits, the more damage it does. But B vitamins, they're like a repair crew with protective gloves, neutralizing the acid before it erodes your circuits. Practical protocol, daily. Vitamin B, 6, 20 milligrams. Vitamin B12, methylated, 500 micrograms, 0.5 milligrams. Folate, as methylfolate, 800 micrograms. Best taken with breakfast for consistent absorption. You can find these as a complete homocysteine support blend, or take them individually. Consistency is more important than brand. Rosa's blood test showed elevated homocysteine. We added these B vitamins alongside her morning omega-3s. 6 weeks later, her daughter said, "She's telling old family stories again, stories we thought were gone." Memory isn't just about remembering facts. It's about reconnecting who we are. And sometimes, It starts with one vitamin at breakfast. 5. The dehydration disruption. How a dry brain forgets. We often think of memory loss as something complex, but sometimes it's just water. Your brain is nearly 75% water, and when hydration drops even slightly, mental performance begins to falter. In fact, studies show that just 1 to 2% dehydration can lead to a 10 to 15% decline in cognitive function, especially in attention, short-term recall, and focus. Why does this happen? Because water doesn't just hydrate you, it maintains the volume of brain cells, the flow of nutrients, and the removal of waste. When you're dehydrated, neurons shrink. Signal speed drops. The brain begins conserving energy, cutting down non-essential tasks like memory formation. It's like a city in drought. Water gets rerouted to keep the lights on. But small services like street cleaning or mail delivery, forgotten, and you feel it. You walk into a room and forget why. You reread the same sentence. You lose track of what you just said. But here's the good news. The fix is gentle and immediate. Morning hydration protocol. 16 ounces, about 500 milliliters, of room temperature water. Add a pinch of sea salt or a drop of trace minerals to help absorption. Drink within 30 minutes of waking, before coffee or tea. This rehydrates your body after 7 to 8 hours of overnight water loss, stabilizes blood pressure, and supports oxygen delivery to the brain. Within days, many seniors notice fewer mental blanks before noon. Rosa told me something simple but telling. I used to wake up foggy. Now, I just start. We often chase complicated answers to memory loss, but sometimes healing is found in the first glass of the day, the quiet sip before the world begins, the moment we choose to nourish the one organ we live through, the brain. 6. Rosa's story, from foggy mornings to mental brightness. When Rosa first walked into my clinic, she looked tired, not in her body, but in her eyes. She was 71. She'd been forgetting names, misplacing her purse, walking into rooms and standing still, unsure. Her voice cracked when she said, "I feel like I'm fading, and I don't know how to hold on to myself." But Rosa wasn't broken. She was just overwhelmed, and her brain, like so many others, was calling for help in quiet, everyday ways. We didn't start big. We started simple. 10-minute walks every morning, even when her knees hurt. A glass of water with trace minerals before coffee, omega-3s with lunch. A B vitamin blend at breakfast. Nothing fancy, no apps, no pressure, just small acts, repeated with care. At first, Rosa said it felt pointless. She still forgot things, still lost her train of thought, but around week 3, she noticed she wasn't asking her daughter to repeat things as often. By week 6, she was telling family stories at dinner. And by month 3, something subtle returned. Her laugh. Not the polite kind, the real one, the one her grandkids used to chase. One afternoon, she told me, I walked into the bedroom and remembered exactly why. It wasn't a big thing. It was just mine. That's the part memory loss steals first. Not facts, but agency. That small, sacred link between your thought and your action. Today, Rosa still forgets things now and then. We all do. But she no longer feels lost in her own home. She feels like herself again. And if her story feels familiar, maybe a little too close, just know you are not fading. You are remembering forward. And every step, every sip, every choice is your way back home. You've just walked through something powerful, not a treatment, but a remembering, not of facts, but of yourself. Because memory is more than recall. It's how we carry meaning. It's how we stay connected to who we love and who we've been. You now know what shrinks memory. You now know what rebuilds it. And none of it is unreachable. A glass of water at dawn, a slow walk under trees, a spoon of oil from the sea, a vitamin taken in stillness. These are not grand gestures, but together they make a map, a way home to yourself. So, if you've ever stood in a room unsure why you're there, that room is not your enemy. It's just a doorway. And today, you've remembered how to walk through it with awareness. You don't need to fear forgetting because you're learning how to remember on purpose. And if this episode felt like it touched something inside you, let us know. Tell us which moment felt like your moment, because your voice helps someone else whisper back to life. Until next time, stay kind to your brain and gentle with your steps. We'll see you in the next one.